It's November 1st, right in the middle of rut season here in Ohio. They're deep into the rut. We've got some cam pictures of a fat, like 300-pound, 8-9 pointer coming in here in the last couple days. So we're sitting here. It is currently about 4:30. We spooked like 3 does coming in at like 3 o'clock, so they're already moving around. Stay tuned, and you're not going to want to miss this week's episode of Outward Outdoors. Check it out.
Man, things have been pretty interesting here at Outward Outdoors the past few weeks. From releasing our first ever special episode on a Saturday for Veterans Day, taking our first hunter, Scott, out, which, what an amazing experience.
It's been awesome.
To the upcoming weekend, we got youth hunters coming in that we're going to try and get possibly their first deer. So a lot of things have been exciting. But on top of that, we're able to finally talk about your buck story.
Yeah, it feels like it's, I've been waiting a year.
Right?
It's been a week. A week and a couple days, but yeah. Yeah, man, it was an incredible hunt, an incredible 2 days back to back. We got the awesome pleasure of being able to go behind your dad's house, which is a nice little secluded, like 5 acres or so back there. That's surrounded by like 1,000+ acres of like nothingness.
Yeah.
So you just never know what you're going to get in rut season back there. And that's why I love it, because, you know, you can be there one day and get a triple rack 8-point, 9-pointer that's non-typical, and the next day get a perfectly symmetrical 150 8-pointer, and you just never know.
Exactly.
So we got the great pleasure of being able to go out Friday night, and we had some great action, but not actionable action, if that makes sense.
Exactly, yeah. There was definitely deer moving that night. What do we have? A spike in there at one point.
Yep.
A couple does came in, and then we had one looker off to the left at one point, didn't we?
Yeah, he rocked the ridge line behind the feeder. Nice little, he was a little 8. A little 8 point. Yeah, a little, just not, you know, maybe 2.5, thin, but young, you know, not mature by any means. And then you nudge me on the knee and point, and you can see kind of like out of the corner of my eye, you know, just that white rack. And it's definitely a shooter. We've seen him before. But yeah, he just sat there, man. He just hung up. You pointed at him, and we're able to film it for 20 minutes, and he just never came in.
He was like looking off to the right, never really looked at us, never sent at us.
So it is what it is, but you know, like you said earlier, is sometimes things happen for a reason.
Yes,
because then it became Saturday morning, and Saturday was a heck of a day for us.
Yes, it was.
We got up first thing in the morning. We're able to get straight into the blind. We had all just like the weirdest looking 6 or 5 point, whatever it was, run right across us, like, but literally like run.
Yeah, it was like bam, like that. All of a sudden you heard something and right across. Didn't even have really time to do anything at all.
No time really. I mean, we got one little clip of him. I think he ate 2 bites of food.
Yep. And
was gone. Nose up, just looking. You could tell he was looking for something. So then he goes away, and we get what? 1, maybe 2 doe come in, straggle, and then what? Right around like 8:15, 8:30, we got a couple decent doe come in.
Yep.
And then off to the right, here he comes.
It was weird where he came to. He came like directly like to the side of us, to the right, like where he came in, and like I saw him right away. Shifted the camera over. There's a shooter, Obe. Here he comes.
Yep. Yeah, and instantly, I mean, I knew. The second I saw him, you know, like, hey, here he comes. But then, of course, he decides to hang up too on the drip and on the scrapes. You know, he even goes and opens up another scrape and hides behind 2 trees that are kind of like catty-cornered from each other, and he comes between them, of all things, and eating, keeping his shoulder back, and he finally, you know, walks past the tree, clears the tree, shoulder back, no shot. I swear he took 5 steps with his right foot.
Yeah, he like kept going, scooching with it.
Yeah. Yeah, just to keep everything else hidden. And then finally, he kind of hitches. Pulled the trigger, and the second I pulled that trigger, Damon just goes, "You smoked him."
that deer, I've never seen a deer jump that high in the air from a shot, man.
He jumped 30 feet in the air.
Yes, he did. He got all cleared
fours.
Then it was try to get him going. He run over the hill, and what thought you heard is to be a crash.
Mm-hmm.
So we sit there and just talk about it for a little bit, get calmed down, reset, gather ourselves. First thing we do is like go out and like look at where you took the shot, and like not but a foot away from where you took the shot, blood immediately.
Yep, right where he landed.
Put my hat there, I take it, set it down. I said, let's go in, we'll talk to Dad, get a game plan together. Then we waited maybe an hour before we decided to even come back out. And then finally, I was like, all right, Obe, let's go back out. I was like, you got to lead the way this time. So
Yeah.
I was like, show Dad where the first blood is.
Yeah, I showed Jesse where it was at. We walked down over the hill, and then he kind of like at the top of the hill before he goes down there, kind of cut right a little bit. So we walked that way. Next thing you know, blood dries up. Never, can't find it. Just stopped. So I start looking up on top of the hill. Your dad goes way down over the hill the other way, and then you kind of followed a deer path down the other way. I'm just up there looking, freezing, you know, trying to keep myself warm. And I trying to figure out, like, where's the blood coming from? Where's the last blood we really found? And then I just hear you whistle up over the hillside.
I was way off by myself.
Yep, way off by yourself. I hear a whistle, and I snap my head over, start sprinting that direction. Next thing I know, I'm like, oh, crap. Like, I got to remember, like, Jesse might not have heard that. So I turn and look, and Jesse's coming my way. So I'm like, oh, he heard us. He's good. So I run down over the hill, and there you are, standing there, blood all over your hands. Slid down, you're like, oh, we got to get up this hill. Come on,
Come
man.
on.
I'm like, let's get out of here. So we started dragging it up the hill, and then Jesse comes up over the hill, and we're like, he goes, what are you guys doing? You're looking way over here. I think you need to be over here. And we're like, what do you mean looking, Jesse? We got the buck
right here. Come
us.
on, come look at it. Oh, come on. And then we drug it up to the hill and like stopped with him to show it. And like, wouldn't you know it, we ended up figuring out like a week later, looking at the trail camera pictures, trying to do Scott's hunt. We stopped right in front of the trail camera, taking pictures of your buck there, telling the story about it, and we got to relive it again.
Yeah, so we got it was almost like killing the buck twice because you got to relive the whole thing through the trail cam pictures.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was amazing.
And on top of that, an amazing shot, plus a bonus, an amazing rack, a freaking 10-point deer, and your biggest buck to date.
Yes, biggest one, 100. Finally broke 100.
Yep, you did.
Finally broke 100 with a 110, so that was my first one. And I'm 2 for 2 on the last 2 arrows I've left.
We're filling freezers. That's what it's all about.
We're filling freezers. That's what it's all about. And he is delicious.
Oh,
I've had
we
some.
tried him already. Yes,
oh, yeah.
did.
Yes, we did. Definitely filling the freezer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so with that said, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of Outward Outdoors. And make sure and tune in next week.
You're not going to want to miss it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss an episode. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.